Hello, Aries, or anyone watching for Aries. So, the first thing I'm going to do is pull some cards, see what has been up with you all. I know I was absent for the month of May, so let's see what's been going on. Hierophant, all right. Looks like there might be talks of a relationship, or you could be in a relationship since the last time we spoke. Okay, but there's an issue here, which makes sense because you don't watch tarot unless you usually have something on your mind. And so I feel like for some of you, you ended up with somebody that you're starting to see like a lot of red flags, but you're trying to make this work. This would be something that's pretty new. For those of you who are not in a relationship, I feel like you could have decided to work on yourself. And it's very possible that you are seeing someone else in a relationship, and this would be the person that you would have wanted to be with. So, two different storylines here. I feel like for those of you who are working on yourself, you're probably just feeling very like discouraged at your prospects. I feel like you're a traditional person in the sense that when you're with someone, you really show up for them. And so I feel like dating has been a little bit difficult for you. For some of you, you're really working on trying to like heal your heart, or you're just picking up more hours. You could have started a new job or business, it looks like, or perhaps a new schedule. And that could be interfering with your love life at this time, it feels like, because there's something that you're working on, like whether you're in a relationship or not. I feel like you're trying to probably get to the bottom of why you make the choices that you make. Because what I'm seeing here is that it's not just this situation, but it's kind of every situation. I feel like you're looking at the kinds of partners that you choose, the things that you do when you're in relationships. For some of you, you have like a really hard time letting your guard down for people based on what's happened to you in the past, right? So maybe you were married and the divorce was horrible. Maybe you got totally screwed over by somebody that you put a lot of effort into like maintaining a relationship with. And I feel like, unfortunately for you, Aries, that really kind of affects the relationships you've had going forward from that like origin story of trauma, right? So whether you're in a relationship or not, I feel like you're really trying to get to the bottom of your programming, your conditioning, who you are, why it feels like you push people away. There's an energy here of feeling like you need to be alone, or that you're going to be alone. For some of you, if you're in relationships, you may feel as though you're always alone, even though you're with someone, right? Because it's always like this energy of being single, even in commitments. You know, you may have a tendency to choose partners that are like projects for you, right? Something to distract you from kind of this cyclical thinking that I'm seeing here, because you do have these two eights. But also, it kind of feels like if you choose a partner that has problems, it keeps you from having to worry about your own issues, right? With like intimacy or opening up. It kind of is a way for you to show love by helping someone solve their problems instead of actually having to let your walls down and like love someone just because you love them, right? It's almost like you have been choosing partners where you're seeing them as like, if you can rehabilitate them, if you can love them through their problems, if you can help them feel better about who they are, that's kind of an easy out, because that's your way of being like, okay, obviously I care, or I wouldn't be helping you, right, to find a job or giving you a place to stay. It keeps you from having to be with someone who is on an even keel where you can just love them and they can just love you, and you don't have to be of some kind of service to the person that you're dealing with. I feel like that really frightens you. to be in a relationship where people are just like healthy and kind of normal and you can make progress. And I feel like that's because intuitively you have this streak of being a loner, right? You feel like no matter what, you end up alone. It's probably easier to not share some of your intimate thoughts or feelings. I feel like you have relationships that are either very superficial or it looks like you're kind of the hero or the caregiver. But either way, it's a way to maintain distance, right? Emotional distance from the person you're dealing with. And I feel like that's something that you're dealing with now. You know, if you're in a relationship, you're probably trying to figure out, like, am I recreating a cycle that I've been dealing with? If you're single, you're taking some time out to figure out what you want, right? And kind of through the lens of like, what kind of person do you want to be moving into your next relationship? Because it feels like you've been in this cycle of attracting probably a lot of karmic partners with the Six of Cups in the reverse. Definitely a lot of misery, right? A lot of situations that you feel the need to exit, right? Or people that you know aren't going to withstand the test of time as far as commitment. And I think that with the Hierophant here, that's something that's very much on your mind, right? For some of you, you're ready to be in a relationship, but you just don't want to keep recreating the same situations that you've encountered in the past. So, very good in the sense that you're looking at the role you're playing, because really all you can do is control what you do, right? So let's take a look at what's going on with your love life, because I'm seeing some regrets here. For some of you, you might have jumped into a relationship kind of quick to prove to yourself that you were ready. I feel like if that is the case for those of you, you've attracted somebody who's either mirroring you or it's somebody that's like triggering you very, very much at this time. And that's kind of Spirit's way of getting you to like do that deep dive that we talked about, right? So sorry if you're in a relationship and you're going through that at this time. Let's see what's up with the Six of Cups in the reverse, because I feel like there's some confusion here. All right. So this one's kind of rough because I feel like you do have options right now, Aries. But I feel like you're also at this weird crossroads where it's like whatever you've been working on with someone else kind of feels like it's not working. So to me, this is like you coming to the realization that it's not necessarily the last person that you were with. Because here's what I'm seeing. This sounds kind of weird the way I phrased it, but it almost feels like you could have tried to jump into a relationship after some sort of like breakup. And this was a way to like prove to yourself that you weren't the problem. And I'm not saying you are the problem, right? Because it takes two to tango. But what I'm seeing here is that you're coming to the realization that it's like no matter who you're with, you are you. And no matter where you go, there you are, right? Like you can't run from yourself regardless of who you're with. So I feel like you're kind of taking stock of the situation that you're finding yourself in, whether that's with someone or by yourself. And you're really starting to replay some of these past situations. So I don't particularly feel like this has to do with the person that you're with. If you're with someone right now, I feel like you're thinking a lot about someone else. It could be like this Queen of Swords. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, could be a Taurus with the Hierophant there. But it's almost like whatever you're going through now is giving you a fresh perspective about a relationship that I feel like meant a lot to you, that it kind of seems as though there was some toxicity or some reoccurring cycles. So it's almost like you're starting to get a new awareness of why something from your past didn't work out based on what you're doing now. Okay. And, you know, if you're dealing with an Aries right now, you might find that they're acting kind of weird or, you know, they're reflecting on their past. There's something about the situation that you're in right now that's triggering you to actually think about someone else, okay? So sorry for the cross watchers, but that's just what I'm seeing. Let's take a look at what the person that's on your mind is showing you. that's got you thinking? Because I feel like there's two energies here, but it seems like you're not talking to one of them and you could be in a relationship with the other, or the other person like wants a commitment and you're kind of just thinking. Let's see what's going on here because there's two people involved. All right, so one person I feel like has made the decision to completely leave the situation. But I feel like for you, you're having a hard time telling if it's really over, and that's something that kind of bothers you. So for some of you, like maybe you feel as though you need closure from whoever this past person is before you can move on with someone else. Because there's a lot of unexplored potential here with this Eight of Wands. There's a lot of like what ifs, like, well, what if I would have, been more emotionally available? Would it have worked? I feel like for you, Aries, you might want to be kind of careful about jumping into something because you still have a lot of attachment to the past. And I feel like that's going to affect whatever you do next unless you resolve that, because it's like you're bringing your baggage with you. You're bringing your feelings for someone else with you. So I guess I would say to try to get to the bottom of that, like if you can, because I'm not seeing any swords. So it might be good to communicate with that person, try to get some closure about the situation, because I feel like even though there's this new opportunity here for you, if you haven't met someone yet, give it a little bit of time, because I'm seeing that there's someone in your midst or that will be in your midst that's very interested in you. You're still having a hard time with whatever this past situation is, even though it looks like it's done. So let's see what's going on with this person. Yeah, they may have blocked you. They definitely didn't. I feel like this is somebody who you probably thought would always at least be a friend. So you could be dealing with that, like trying to figure out how to understand the loss of this person. There's energy of waiting, right? Kind of taking stock of the arguments that perhaps you had or the problems that you had in this relationship and realizing that they were kind of petty. So I don't know if you're in a situation now where you're like not happy or you're arguing with your person or whoever, but like I said, whatever you're seeing from this situation that you're dealing with now or will be dealing with, it's causing you to look back at this missed opportunity in a way that you're kind of getting this fresh pair of eyes where it's like, okay, whatever the arguments were, they weren't as important as the way I felt about that person. But I think for you, Aries, because you have such a hard time like expressing your feelings or kind of like getting to the bottom of how you feel, you didn't know at the time, right? Like you didn't understand maybe how deep your feelings were for that person when you were with them. So it's kind of like you don't know what you have until it's gone or it's replaced with something else. And then that gives you the ability to be able to do the comparing and contrasting, right? Sometimes you don't know what you want until you're faced with the choice and you choose something else. And you're like, wow, you know what? I really liked my old apartment better than my new one. You get what I mean? And I feel like that really comes from you being a little bit out of touch with yourself, right? Like because of that emotional intimacy being kind of difficult for you, but I think you'll get to the bottom of it. I think this is a big lesson that you're kind of learning right now. And it could be that you're dealing with a lot of karmic cycles or karmic partners, so that you can have what you're feeling reflected back at you, right? So sometimes we end up attracting partners that do the same thing to us that we do to them, but they do it at such a grand scale, like to the max, that you can't avoid it. You get what I mean? Because it's like, whoa, this is like so in your face. So let's take a look at what your thoughts are, what your question for me is today. Because I feel like you're doing a lot of reflecting, but I feel like you're also kind of trying not to. So if you're like doing a lot of drinking, maybe be careful with that, okay? Because it could affect your work life. All right, so Four of Swords. Yeah, I see that you're still really attached to the past. Um, it looks like you're trying to figure out, could whatever your past situation is be fixed? And I think there's a lot of questions around that, as far as like, how would you get this person's attention? Because I feel like whoever this is, you would have to talk to them probably. I don't think this person is going to come towards you at this time. And I feel like you know that, because it's almost like this was a game, like a love game, but then it got taken too far and someone really was pissed off or someone really was hurt. And for you, you were looking at it like, okay, well, what's the problem? We always do this. Like, we always break up and make up. Like, why would you take this one time so serious? And now you're just gone, right? So for you, it's kind of like, wait, like, is this really game over? Like, we always do this. I don't get what the problem is. How is this time any different? I feel like that's got you kind of reeling, because maybe if you would have known that was like the last time you were going to talk to that person, you would have made a different choice. And I feel like that's what you have going on in your mind, is like, should I bother trying to talk to this person? Does it make sense to reconcile with this person based on what I did, what they did, what I've seen from them? I feel like you can't, for some reason, get this person out of your mind at this time. It's like you have lots of things that you feel like you needed to say. It's almost like being emotionally detached, or like one-upping this person in the sense that you couldn't care less at the time, kind of backfired on you. So there's an energy of being like, wow, I wish I could have been more candid about what was going on with me, or why I felt the need to push this person away, right? There's also an energy here where you're kind of looking at this new situation as like a way to make you feel better. So I guess I'd say be a little bit careful about that. Because that's kind of unfair, like if you're just using someone as a distraction, or like an experiment to see if you're like better at relationships, or if you're more emotionally available. You get what I mean? Like, let's see what's going on with this current situation, because I'm seeing lots of reflecting about the past situation, the past person. So what's up with the now, this other energy? All right, King of Swords reverse. Oh, okay. So whoever this is, it's like you're seeing that's not where you want to be. Seven of Cups reversed, King of Swords reversed. Whoever you're dealing with, I feel like this person kind of sold you a dream, and they could have made it seem like they were something that they weren't. I feel like now, as time has gone on, you're starting to feel a little bit bitter towards whoever this is. So if you haven't found yourself in this situation yet, just be super, super careful. This is kind of caution, like a warning that everything that glitters isn't gold. Whoever you're attracting next is going to be somebody who, they're going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to show you what you think you could have. With this person, it's like very positive. But then as you start to see this person for who they are, there's something about them where they either flat out lie to you, or they like manipulate you in some way, because it's like you're going to see it. And I also feel like you're not going to want to see it, for the simple fact that when you make this choice for whoever this is, this other situation, that's like your way of trying to move on or close the door. And so I feel like there could be, let's see how that'll affect the old situation, because this to me looks like you try to move on with someone else or do something else. Yeah, and it kind of will create a barrier to being able to go back to the past, right? For some of you, this is a twin flame connection. That's exactly it. It's like, if you're giving time or attention to someone new, just be super careful about that person, because that person is not who they say they are, okay? And I feel like as you're starting to see that, you're kind of feeling some regret because it's like, well, man, I should have gone back here and tried to work things out. But now that I've done this, this feels like a permanent decision. Like this person is going to hold a grudge that I picked someone else, is what this looks like to me. So let's see if we can get some advice for you about the situation. Let's get advice for your previous person and see what's up with them. Then we'll get advice for whoever this newer energy is in your life. So Emperor, you had Emperor and then you had Empress and the Moon. I feel like Aries, because you are an Aries and Emperor is Aries card, you may want to give this another go round. It looks like you're supposed to explore this situation. Like this is actually your card and you're over here with this person. So it kind of feels like this is where you belong. And intuitively, I feel like you know that. So it feels like you're being asked to take control of this situation in the sense that you incite some sort of change between you and whoever this is. Because I don't feel like this person is going to reach out. Hangman in the reverse. So this is talking about coming back to a situation after a period of being apart, but also this is talking about like coming out of kind of a rigorous mental time where you're starting to learn more about yourself. Like you had the epiphany of where you want to be, and now it's time to face your fears with this Nine of Swords and present yourself, how you want this person to see you. I feel like you're being asked to take control of this situation and make this right is actually what this looks like here. Because Hangman in the reverse it's a card of betrayal, So if you feel like maybe you made the wrong decision, I think that it can be fixed. But the difficulty is that you would have to kind of eat crow or like be 100% honest with like why you did what you did or why you like had a hard time opening up. It would require you to be more trusting, I feel like. And that's kind of hard for you because you're like the solo person, right? You're not so much the team player. You're more like the leader of the pack. So who do you depend on? Well, kind of nobody, right? It's hard to let your guard down. But this is actually saying that you do have an opportunity if you want to like make this right, but you have to show up as like someone who knows what they want and someone who's comfortable with at least explaining what has been going on with you. You get what I mean? Let's take a look at this newer energy. Wow, you got a bunch. Okay, we're going to take them all because I just do. I feel like if they come out, that's your message. So give me just a minute. King of Pentacles in the reverse at the bottom of your deck. So kind of talks about wasting your time or someone not being relationship material, but King of Pentacles in the reverse goes back to the energy of not really knowing what you had until you don't have it. You don't see the value of things. And that's a part of life. Like it just is, it happens. We all do it. So I'm not trying to like be down on you. I'm just letting you know what I see. All right, let's take a look at this message. Page of Cups reversed, King of Cups reversed, Page of Wands reversed, Queen of Wands reversed. My goodness. Okay, so here's the thing. Aries, I feel like this situation over here, you did this because you were hoping to get your lover's attention, whoever you were playing these love games with. It was kind of like, okay, I'm just going to pay attention to someone else, right? The problem is that this person isn't returning, And in regards to this, I feel like now with what I'm seeing here, you have this situation, but you don't have what you really want. So it feels like this is with all these reversals. It's like there's two people speaking different languages here. You've got a Page of Cups, King of Cups reversed, and you've got a Page of Wands reversed, Queen of Wands reversed, right? So it's like King of Cups reversed is kind of stuck in the past, feeling one way. Queen of Wands in the reverse is jealous, and feeling upset that the situation isn't like progressing the way they want it to, because they can pick up on you being attached to something else. Okay. This person, I feel like they might be really fun for a short amount of time until you start seeing like, okay, this was not something to commit to. This could have been like a fling or something, but this becomes almost like an abusive combination. So just be really careful, because the King of Cups in the reverse is like emotionally withdrawn, but can also be kind of manipulative. Whereas the Queen of Wands in the reverse is just kind of a nasty person. Like they're not nice. They're very condescending, very critical, very, I don't even know. Like this is not a great combination. I'll tell you that much, because it's like the more you pull away from this, the more this person will pursue you. But they also will become like mean about it, like bitter and demanding, right? And I feel like that's going to turn you off more. But with this King of Cups in the reverse, Page of Cups in the reverse combo, this could kind of wound you, right? This is somebody, if you've told them very personal things about yourself, like maybe you try to open up to whoever this is, they would use that against you and dig into you. And I feel like that could be part of why you're looking at the past, like, you know what, I gave my trust to the wrong person, or I told my secrets to the wrong person. Like, I wouldn't open up to whoever this was, but now I'm with this other person. And like, I tried to be emotionally available to them or vulnerable. And instead they're like using that as a club to beat me over the head with. Right. So I'm sorry if that's the situation that you're in, but I do feel like it's happening so that you can kind of understand, like, maybe that's just not the right situation for you. It looks like with this person, they may tell you to go back to whoever it seems like is on your mind, because this is someone who is very jealous. They're not just going to let that slide. They're very possessive, but they're also very insecure. So I feel like this is somebody that they would do something kind of mean to you. Okay. I feel like if they feel like you're not a priority, I feel like this is someone that would try to embarrass you or hurt your feelings or do something kind of mean. And again, maybe that's showing you that in the past, if you had someone who was patient about your emotional stuff, or patient about not always being able to be a priority, or you open up, maybe that too is kind of showing you like where you should be. Because I feel like this is someone who you've given the most you can to them at this time, and they still want more. Like it's never enough. Whereas whoever this person was just got kind of tired of, you giving the bare minimum, right? So kind of a hard energy that I'm picking up on, kind of a frustrating situation. But I feel like you have the power to fix this, with your Emperor energy. You just have to get to the bottom of like what you want, you know what I mean? And what you're willing to do to get it. Like, I feel like this was kind of a weird side quest, or some kind of like life detour. You got weight in the reverse and success. So now is not the time to like sit around and contemplate, right? Because I'm seeing a lot of cards about you like not communicating, not taking action to go after what you want. I feel like if there's something you've been contemplating, now is definitely the time to go after that. Because if you think about it, you're not the same person you were, right? This experience has changed you in some way. So, I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? All right, I'm going to take this to the extended reading. I'm not as concerned about this kind of narcissistic, mean energy, but I am going to look at the person that it feels like you're having a lot of regrets about, so that I can give you guys the clarity that it feels like you need. I'm going to pull 10 cards, so I'll look at all kinds of stuff. We're going to look at their life, their energy right now, how they feel about you, how they think you feel about them, what they want, what they're not telling you, what they're doing, all kinds of stuff. All right. So follow me over there. Link is in the description box. I will speak to all of you again soon, but good luck with this. Bye. I do feel like this person is kind of devastated. I just don't want you to think like, even though I'm picking up on this energy of this person being like more going with the flow, like I said before, this was not easy. Like, you have the Tower, you have the Eight of Wands. Watching you go, right, has been really hard for this person. And so I don't want you to think that it's just like, oh, see ya, who cares? Because that's not it at all.